Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to talk about knife throwing versus knife lobbing with that flight path and with that um, strength or how much speed you should put into your implements. Um, Knives or anything else you throw. So first of all, I have to express my personal opinion is that I really dislike knife lobbing. Okay, nah, I hate it. Full stop. I think, I mean, it would be politically incorrect to say that's like a very girly throw because I know girls or female throwers who actually throw so much better than that, right? I think knife lobbing kind of gained a little bit of popularity because of a certain competition style throw, and that competition is the World XWA WATK, World X Throwing League or something like that. And they started doing knife throwing as well. Okay, now they are sport oriented, they point oriented, 100%, and they narrowed down the field of the available implements or the implements you can throw and the distances. And out of that came this is the best style to suit to work within those parameters. Okay, this is unfortunate, and I kind of really hope it's not going to gain popularity. But if it does, well, so be it. Now, this exactly same happened when karate became a sport karate, when there's point fighting, right? There's no longer a full technique, it's just you made a point and you hardly can make a contact. Something that was a martial art became a point chasing sport or certain organizations, right? And suddenly you don't need to be a martial artist. You need to be flexible and you need to know the rules. That's it. Similar thing going on here, or at least the way I see it. Now, lobbing is pretty much when you throw a knife, you hold it and you throw it, right? When you kind of lob the knife and you look at some of those wild hatchet throwing or axe throwing and knife throwing, they kind of hold the knife like that and move down range a little bit so it's better seen. It's like it's a very soft throw. It's a very almost like dart like throwing but with rotational. Now initially I thought that's a very I mean sorry no let's start again. I have to admit that this type of throwing is very accurate. And initially, I thought this is more accurate than what I would class as proper knife throwing. And I use the word proper in a kind of sense of more as traditional. Okay. Now, lately, I kind of realized that it's not. But com- competitors became more accurate faster with this kind of lobbing action instead of a traditional knife throw. So they're not more accurate, they just get accurate a bit faster. Again, opinion. If you have different opinion, put in a comment. We should have a debate over it. Now, the other side effect of lobbing. Okay, so the knife is a motionless object. Okay, when you throw it, you introduce a speed to it. Okay, now, so once it leaves our hand, there is two things act on it. I mean, once it's airborne, or at the point of airborne, is our body, the amount of speed you put into the knife, and the other is gravity. Okay, now this drop is unavoidable. Doesn't matter how fast or how good of your thrower you are, there will be a either, might pick something more colorful. Okay, it's either gonna be starting off flat and it's going to curve down, or you're going to have to slightly curve up and then it come down if the throw release point and the target point are the same height. This is only two options because of the Earth gravitational pull. So therefore, the longer a thrower stays in the air, the bigger this curvature has to be. There's no way around it. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this becomes on the other side of the what we say is, oh, this throw looks really flat. You know, I mean, the aim is, or some of ours, mine, is to have the flight path as flat as possible. It's never going to be completely flat. It cannot be completely flat. It will always have a little curvature. But one of my objectives is to make this as flat as possible. That's the best wording, okay? And for that, you have to increase the speed of the object traveling towards the target. Now, yes, I know there are some videos out there. This flight path looks completely flat, but that's just a optical illusion. It's not the maker of the video not necessarily wanted to, you know, misguide you. It's just some camera angles looks like that. Okay, now with that, the question becomes how fast or how hard should you throw? And when I say hard, is what's the speed you should be reaching with your arm before you letting the thrower go. Okay, now my opinion is you should be always aiming to that between 60 to 80% speed. Okay, so you shouldn't, I mean, I'm old and things not always working as they should be, so I don't want to be always throwing at a 100% or sending it down range. Well, that was a really bad throw. I want to be about a good send, but not at full send either. Now, also what you will discover if you throw long enough, that as you move back, you getting to a newer distance, a slightly tongue twister, a slightly slower throw will actually give you time, give your brain and muscles the right amount of communication time, so you do it properly, and therefore it doesn't land flat, but it lands proper. Okay, it still wasn't gentle, what I call lobbing. It's still a throw, just a little bit gentler. Now, after a while, this communication between your brain and muscles gonna catch up, and then you can actually send it. Not like that. It's going to prove me wrong. Oh, come on, that was in. See? The beauty of uncut videos to show my lack of. That was in. That wasn't fair at all. I have to get it now. There you go. Okay. But if I was throwing just a little bit gentler, so somewhere around 50%, most of these would be in easily. So don't always, my kind of message on this, don't always throw at max. You don't need to send it down. You don't need to get that absolute, the lowest curvature. It's okay to throw a little bit softer. That's still a throw. It's not a lob. That was horrible too. But that was trying to mimic a lob. That was a perfect lob. There's nothing behind it. Yes, it is. It's still powerful enough to stick in the target. But in my opinion, that's not a throw. But anywho, I'm on board on long enough. Hope you get some ideas out of it. And put in the comment if you feel the same way versus throwing versus lobbing. Or you think lobbing has, or lobbing is the future of precision knife throwing. I don't think so, but maybe it is your opinion. Interested to hear. But anyway, thanks for listening and see you in the next video. Bye.